In a small, vibrant village, there lived a young woman named Abeni, whose life was a tale of laughter and flexibility. Everyone in the village knew Abeni, but not for the reasons you'd expect. She wasn't the wealthiest, the prettiest, or even the most outspoken. No, Abeni was known for something else entirely, being the object of ridicule. Look at her, always carrying firewood like it's her crown, the villagers would sneer. They laughed at her patched clothes, her hard-skinned hands and her quiet bearing. To them, Abeni was nothing more than a poor girl struggling to survive. But what they didn't see, what they refused to see, was the fire burning within her. Abeni's life was not easy. She rose with the sun every morning, working tirelessly to support her ailing mother. Her days were spent in the marketplace, selling firewood to uninterested buyers while continuing the cruel whispers of those around her. Yet every insult, every laugh, every dismissive glance only strengthened her resolve. Because Abeni had a secret. While others teased her, she spent her nights under the dim glow of a light, studying ancient scrolls left behind by her father. She learned about the healing power of herbs, the art of negotiation, and the stories of legendary heroes who rose from nothing to achieve greatness. Abeni believed deep in her heart that she, too, was destined for something extraordinary. The villagers couldn't have imagined that the girl they teased would one day outshine them all. They didn't know that her quiet strength and unshakable spirit would catch the attention of the most powerful man in the land. And they certainly didn't know that Abeni's story would become one of triumph, proving that greatness often comes from the most unexpected places. Abeni's life was filled with difficulties that would make anyone feel hopeless. Every day as she stepped out of her tiny, worn-out hut, she faced endless teasing and laughter from the villagers. "There goes Abeni, dreaming of a better life while carrying firewood," they would mock her. They made fun of her old clothes and the tired look on her face. Even the children joined in, following her around and copying her struggles as she carried heavy bundles of firewood to sell at the market. At the market, things weren't much better. Customers argued over prices, offering her only a little money for the firewood she worked so hard to gather. Shopkeepers looked down on her, often ignoring her in favor of wealthier customers. No matter how polite or hard-working she was, Abeni always felt invisible, as if she didn't belong. At home, life was just as tough. Her mother was sick and weak, needing constant care. Abeni did everything she could to provide for her, often going without food herself so her mother wouldn't have to. Her days were long and tiring, and her nights weren't any easier. After a hard day's work, she spent her evenings studying by candlelight, teaching herself things that she hoped would one day change her life. But the hardest part of all was feeling so alone. The villagers' harsh words stayed in her mind, making her doubt herself. Yet no matter how hard life got, Abeni refused to give up. Deep down, she believed her struggles had a purpose and that something better was waiting for her in the future. Despite all the challenges and ridicule she faced, Abeni carried a strength that no one in the village could see. While the villagers judged her by her appearance and poverty, Abeni possessed something far more valuable: an unshakable determination and a sharp, curious mind. Her late father had left behind a small collection of books and scrolls, treasures that Abeni treated like gold. Every evening, after finishing her chores and caring for her mother, she would light a small candle and immerse herself in learning. The texts covered everything from herbal remedies to stories of great leaders and wise thinkers. Abeni absorbed every word, teaching herself skills that most in the village would never understand. But it wasn't just knowledge that set Abeni apart. It was her heart. She had a kindness and empathy that guided her actions, even when people treated her poorly. While others mocked her, she helped those in need without expecting anything in return. Her deep understanding of people and her ability to stay calm in difficult situations made her wise beyond her years. Abeni's strength wasn't loud or obvious, but it was powerful. It was the quiet force that would one day transform her life and prove to the villagers that true greatness comes from within. One day, something happened that left the entire village in shock. The river, which had always been the lifeline of the village, began to dry up. Slowly but surely, its once strong flow turned into a downpour. Crops started to fade under the boiling sun, and the animals grew weaker with each passing day. The villagers grew frightened and restless, as they knew that without the river, survival would become impossible. The chief, a man deeply respected for his wisdom and strength, called for an urgent meeting. The entire village gathered, their faces fixed with worry. Standing tall, the chief addressed them, saying, "This is a grave crisis. Whoever can find a solution to save our village will be greatly rewarded." His words echoed with urgency, and soon the news spread throughout the village. People began offering suggestions. Some suggested building barriers to trap rainwater, while others proposed digging shallow wells. But no matter what they tried, nothing seemed to work. The river continued to shrink, and despair settled over the village. In the middle of this situation, Abeni remained calm. While others panicked, she thought back to the lessons she had learned from her late father's scrolls. She recalled reading about underground springs, hidden water sources that could provide fresh water if discovered. Abeni knew the villagers had never valued her ideas and would likely dismiss her. But despite her fears, she decided to step forward. Taking a deep breath, she approached the chief with her suggestion. It was a bold move for someone who had always been underestimated, but Abeni was determined to help. Little did anyone know, her decision to act would not only change the future of the village, but also transform her own life in ways no one could have imagined. As the village struggled to find a solution to their water crisis, Abeni knew she had to step forward, even if it meant facing more ridicule. It wasn't an easy decision. Her heart raced and her hands shaken as she approached the chief during a village meeting. The crowd, used to mocking her, fell silent in surprise. For a moment, all eyes were on her, filled with doubt and curiosity. "Chief, I believe I can help," Abeni said, her voice steady despite the beating of her heart. A ripple of laughter spread through the villagers. Some whispered harshly, questioning her capability, while others openly dismissed her. But Abeni stood tall, refusing to let their disrespect discourage her. She began to explain her idea, drawing on knowledge she had gained from her late father's scrolls. She spoke of underground springs that often lay hidden beneath dry riverbeds, and how certain signs in nature could point to their presence. The softness of the soil, the unusual growth of certain plants, and the humidity beneath the surface, all these are clues, Abeni said with confidence. The chief, interested by her calm reasoning and deep understanding, decided to give her a chance. With his approval, Abeni assembled a small group of volunteers. Armed with the extinguishing stick and the guidance of her father's teachings, she led them to areas where the signs were strongest. The task was not easy. The heat was unbearable, and the hard, cracked earth seemed unwilling to yield its secrets. Days turned into nights, and exhaustion tested the resolve of everyone involved. Some of the villagers began to lose faith. "What if she's wrong?" they whispered. But Abeni's determination never wavered. She encouraged her team, reminding them of the importance of their mission. She showed them how the soil in one area was unusually soft, and how specific plants that prospered in damp conditions had taken root. These signs gave them hope and renewed their efforts. Finally, after days of persistent digging, they struck water. A cool, clear gush of water burst forth, sparkling under the sunlight. The group erupted in cheers, their joy uncontainable. Word quickly spread, and the villagers, once full of doubt, gathered around the spring in awe. Abeni's knowledge, courage, and unwavering belief had saved the village. Her bravery not only restored water, but also earned her the respect of those who had doubted her. She had proven that strength and wisdom could triumph over any challenge. Abeni's hard work and determination finally paid off. After many days of digging and searching, her team uncovered an underground spring. The sight of fresh, clear water gushing from the ground filled everyone with joy. It wasn't just water, it was hope. With the new spring, the village's dry fields were revived, the crops began to grow again, and the animals regained their strength. The once desolate village became vibrant with life and colour. The news of Abeni's discovery spread quickly. The villagers, who had once teased and dismissed her, now looked at her with admiration and respect. They gathered in celebration, cheering for the girl they had underestimated for so long. The chief, moved by Abeni's courage and intelligence, called for a special meeting in her honour. Standing before the crowd, he praised her wisdom and bravery. "Abeni has shown us what true strength looks like," he declared. "She did not give up even when we doubted her. She is the reason our village booms again." For Abeni, this moment was more than recognition. It was a turning point. The villagers' perception of her changed completely. They no longer saw her as the quiet, overlooked girl, but as a hero who had saved them all. Her success proved an important truth. Greatness is not defined by appearance or status, but by determination, knowledge, and the willingness to rise above challenges. Abeni's name became a symbol of hope and resilience in the village. With the village saved and her wisdom acknowledged, Abeni was invited to the chief's palace. The powerful leader, who had always valued intelligence and courage, was deeply impressed by her. He spent time learning about Abeni's journey, her struggles, and the strength she carried within her. Moved by her character and determination, the chief did something that shocked everyone. He asked Abeni to marry him. The villagers, once filled with disrespect, were left speechless. Abeni, the girl they had ridiculed, was now the chosen partner of the most powerful man, proving that true greatness lies in the heart and mind. Abeni's life had transformed completely. Once mocked and ridiculed, she was now celebrated as the savior of the village and the chosen partner of the chief. But Abeni did not let her newfound status change who she was. She remained humble, using her position to help others and bring positive changes to the community. With the chief's support, she started programs to teach children and adults about knowledge and skills she had learned from her father's scrolls. The villagers, who once laughed at her, now eagerly listened and learned from her wisdom. Abeni's journey became a symbol of hope and resilience for everyone in the village. She proved that no matter how humble one's beginnings, courage, determination, and a kind heart could lead to incredible success. The village thrived under her guidance, and Abeni's legacy lived on, reminding everyone that true strength comes from within.